He's the same weight he is the last time you picked him up.
Say hi. I don't want your butt in my face. Say hi. Say hi.
He knows he's not allowed up there, so he's like, what am I supposed to do?
Say hi.
I'm not supposed to be up here. So.
I know.
When everybody's mad at me.
I know you're going to try to jump off over there. All right.
He's going to come to me to pick him down.
Yeah, he's going to come to you. Take me down, please. I don't want to be up here. He wanted to come say hi because he's snooping around in here. Like he always does when we're both in here at the same time. Anyways, good morning, everybody. I'm Tiffany, and we're going to have some breakfast today. It's going to consist of, if this was one whole roll, it's jelly donuts, but I have two small ones because they're miniature. And some lavender pancakes, or lilac pancakes. This lilac. Yep, that's what it is. Anyways, I need some googly eyes. We'll see who's here real quick, and then we'll get started with our project of the day, which is not Halloween related. I know I said I was going to do Halloween all month, but I'm really low on Halloween fabric. So if I want to make anything else Halloween related, I got to savor the rest of that fabric for something else exciting. It's very small amounts. All right, let's do this and get this chitty chat going right here for me. All right, we got Karen, Trula, Patricia, Love to Quilt, Ice, or Cindy, Gloria, Peggy, Tracy, Nancy, James, Lois, Shirley, Diane, Miki, Laura, and lots more. It's a lot to read. Sorry about that. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. All right. So today, if you popped on earlier than 6 a.m., it probably said a jelly roll and 2 yards. It's actually 2.5 yards. I was half asleep when I was typing it out last night of the needed of yardage, but it's one jelly roll or 40-piece jelly roll and 2.5 yards. Well, I have 4 yards here because, well, they don't sell just 2.5 yard cuts now when you buy at Walmart anymore. You have to buy 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards at a time. So I only had two 2-yard things. So that gives me 4 yards. But I won't use it all. The rest will just go on the shelf. Anyways, we are going to have fun with something I came up with the other day because I was just farting around and Scott says, you need to make a video of that. And I said, well, I'll just do it for breakfast at Tiffany's. So that is what we are going to do today. And my jelly rolls are a no-name brand that were probably purchased at Joann's because they're the ones that sell these fabric rolls. Well, actually, Walmart, I think, sells them too, don't they? I have no idea, but I'm going to come up there and show you the colorway. I hate that. They put a rubber band on it, and it's been on here so long that it melted onto the fabric. And it's sticky. Ew. It's all sticky on my fingers. He's going to come show you the jelly rolls while I remove this nasty sticky stuff from my fingers.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he's going to just bring it up and twirl it in front of the camera. Oh, it's literally, look at this. It is all over my fingers. Gross. Sorry, guys. I'm at the bathroom sink washing this junk off my fingers while he shows you those rolls. It even got under my fingernail. Gross. All right, clean hands to get started. Okay, these are garbage because they're just garbage. They got rubber bands stuck on them. All right, so I'm treating this as if it was a regular jelly roll. of 40 pieces. And they're two totally different ones, but they actually look good together. So what I'm going to do, since there's two of each color, actually four of each color in this one, two of this one, I'm going to start separating them into piles because I'm going to actually put them into an order. So I'm going to find out how much of each there is, and then we're going to make an order, almost like as if you were going to make a jelly roll, like a Bargello or something, you know, just we're going to put them in an order and then sew them together. And I promise you this will be fun. It will be fun. See, I'm going to like move these around. Oh, come on. Let's mix some of this purple around in here. Oops, I don't want two of the same next to each other. Put some of this green somewhere. Put that in between this one. Move that out of my way. Put this purple somewhere. And put this purple somewhere. And then the final purple somewhere. Let's put it in between this. And the final purple can go up here. And since there's four of some and two of the others, just going to keep sewing them into rows of however many. And I will create a fun order. So what I'm going to do is, I need one more purple spread out right there. There we go. It's going to go like teal, purple, teal, green, purple, whatever. I'm going to switch this one for this one. There we go. Good enough order? Yep, I think so. So now I'm going to sew them in sets of 2 and then sew the sets of 2 into sets of 4 and then 6. Because that's about the height I want for my panels that we're going to make. That's the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to start with one of these. And one of these purples. And I'm going to sew them together, creating a strip unit. Just side by side. Oh, and it would be nice to have a good stitch length. I was binding yesterday, so obviously my stitch length isn't what it's supposed to be. I like to sew, if you guys are curious, because people have asked me plenty of times in the comments. I sew everything with a 2.0 stitch length, 2 millimeter stitch length. Some people sew with a 2.5, but I always sew with a 2 because a lot of the times I'm strip piecing and I'm going to subcut it, or I'm sewing something and I'm going to subcut it, or I'm sewing something else and I'm going to subcut it. So that way my stitches don't come out on the edges where I've cut. Huh?
What was the binding one at if you sew everything at 2? What do you sew binding at?
Oh, binding I sew, if I'm, the first stitch is a 2.5 on when I sew it onto the back, and then when I bring it around to the front, it's either a 2.5, 2.8, sometimes 3.0. Depends on the look I want. But that's only for binding. I really only change the stitch length for binding. So I like to continuously sew. Oh man, stuff falling on the floor. Stay. I already did that one and that one. So now I'm going to grab one of these, the third piece and the fourth piece. And I'm going to sew those together. And then I'm just going to do this to the complete whole entire jelly roll. Oh, come on. There we go. And then we'll have some fun with it after we create these. So now I'm on. I did 1, 2. I'm gonna stack them like this now that I've done them so that I know that I already sewed that specific one. So we're gonna do this one and this one.
Are you making strip sets to use with angled templates?
I am not making strip sets to use with any templates. We're just gonna use a ruler.
Your dream quilt, where can they see the finished top?
The Dream Quilt finished top is in, it's a Sew Sunday video that I showed it, or a breakfast at Tiffany's or something, and we went out to the living room to see it. When it gets done, someday, you'll see it. You'll know it's done. All I have to say is you just have to start watching videos and maybe you'll see the video that it's in. So I've showed it a few times. All right, grab one of these, place that there. Grab one of these, place that there. That way I know I've already sewn it. Oops, I want this end. And this end. Add a bobbin. I didn't have a full bobbin because, again, I was binding yesterday. So let's grab, oh, I have it right here. An barely used one. And then we'll start using the full ones. This should last a few minutes, though. Hopefully everybody's doing great today. I'm okay today. It's a little bit nipply outside, but that's okay. I'm indoors. It's under 70 and technically under 60. Well, now it's 61. It was under 60 when I got up today. One of those and one of these. Then one of these and one of these. Oh, I'm not going to have an equal amount? Okay, well, I'm just going to keep sewing them anyway. Whether it gets out of order or not, it's okay. It's not going to matter in the final quilt. As long as two sames are not next to each other. All right, so now I'm going to grab one of these. Row, row, row to you, kitty.
Yeah, I said he's in the living room meowing up the storm.
He is making some noise out there. Woo! He says, you showed me on camera. I didn't want to, but now I think I want to again. Or something. He's really, really meowing. Okay, this bottom piece just does not want to stay flat. Yeah. I smell it. All right, so now I'm going to take the bottom one, hook it to the top one. And I'm just going to keep going until all of my strips are hooked together nicely. Now I can bring them closer to me though and just start back over again. All right, so I'm going to start with now this one, which will be the last of this one, and this bottom one because I haven't used it yet. And then we're going to have the lovely pleasure of ironing it all. I probably could have pre-sewn some of them, but what's the fun in that? I mean, you guys like to see the sewing too, so. All right, so now this last one, this one. Like I said, they're getting mixed up because some have 4 and some only had 2. These. Stay flat. Sometimes they turn on me down at the bottom. So yesterday, I loaded a quilt on the long arm yesterday, and it's a quilt that I bought the top off of the internet. And I bought the top off online, and I didn't realize it because when I bought it, I opened it, but I really wasn't paying attention. Oh, this is pretty, because I saw the picture online, so I knew what the quilt was going to look like. So I didn't inspect it at all whatsoever. Well, turns out it is very funkily put together. And I loaded it on the long arm after heavily steam pressing it, trying to get it to lay flat. So I'm actually loaded 2 battings, a layer of cotton and a layer of thick poly, to hopefully fill in the puffiness. Like I said, it's kind of sloppily put together. So I need to fill in the fullness. So I'm doing 2 layers of batting, and I'm doing custom work on it. Hopefully it turns out nice. I'm kind of just making things up as I go. Yep, but I put a black batting in it because it's a black fabric, and a polyester that's white, but either way, well, it's not white, it's clear, but, well, it looks white, but it's clear. And I have that on the long arm, and, well, I don't know how many days it's going to take me because I worked for about an hour and 15 minutes yesterday. I did a lot of work in an hour and 15 minutes just across the border, and I'm pooped. I was pooped. I was like, ugh. So I stopped for the rest of the day. So I'm going to assume it's going to take a while to get that one done. It's a pretty quilt. It's Amish colors, so it's really pretty. But I definitely going to have to do a lot of quilting on it to get that fullness brought in and purposely fold and crease areas. which I'm pretty good at that now, folding and creasing things to where it doesn't even look like, you know, anything was folded or creased. You know, I kind of make it into straight lines of the stitching and stuff. So hopefully it turns out good. When it does, though, I'll show you guys when it's finished. It's a full-size quilt, so it's like 87 by 87 or something. It's going to shrink, though, a lot because there's 2 layers of batting. But if it turns out really good, I might enter it into a show. Because it's pretty much an Amish colored quilt, you know, and it's star, which is what Amish quilts look like, stars. That's common. So that's what I'll be working on this weekend. Well, the rest of today, some of tomorrow, some of Saturday, and maybe some of Sunday before the live stream. Or maybe not. Never know.
Is this the first time you've done double batting in a quilt?
Yes, this is the first time no, it's not the first time I've done double batting because I did double batting on a lot of little wall hangings and stuff for trapunto, which is still double batting in a way.
First time on a big quilt.
Yeah, it's the first time on a big quilt. Nobody ever asks for it, and I use thick poly for show quilts, and I didn't need to ever double bat it. Because instead I would just grab a 4 or 6 ounce poly, and then I wouldn't have to worry about it. It comes out puffy and looks great. But this time I'm double batting. One is to keep it straight, and the other one is to give it puff. So I'm using the cotton batting as like a stabilizer. All right, now so I'm just gonna mix these all up when I start sewing them in sets of 2, because it won't matter after, as long as everything is not next to the same one, which is all that matters. And I don't want to give away the secret of what I'm doing, so I'm not going to show you the quilt I made the other day until we get started on this one. If you learn to sew strip sets like this, like I said, it's taken me years of practice of doing this, but if you learn to sew your strip sets like this, projects go a lot faster. I mean, normal people would probably press the fabric first instead of leaving it all wrinkled, but I'm going to be pressing it anyway, so it really don't matter. The selvage will get cut off when I start making my rows, my strip sets, and cutting them, subcutting them. You can cut them off in the start, but not everything is going to line up either way, so you still have to straighten one edge. So I just sew them with the selvages on. When I do this,
when you do the double batting, which batting do you put close to the quilt?
When I do double batting, I put the cotton on the bottom, closest to the backing of the quilt, and the poly on the top, closest to the top of the quilt. Because that's how I do trapunto. I put the regular cotton batting down first, and then the sections that I want to puff out, I always put the poly under that section. And I cut it to that section's size, too. Sometimes I even glue it on so that it stays before I flip the quilt back down. That way it doesn't shift or move by the time I start ruler quilting it or whatever. I'll actually use my batting spray, some spray, put it directly on the block or under the block that I'm trying to poof out, then put the quilt down. And it usually stays really nice. But when you're doing double batting on two layers on one big quilt, I don't recommend spraying them together if you're on the long arm. If you're not on the long arm and you're doing free motion quilting sit down, then yeah, I would spray them together. Because sit down, I think it would shift more than stand up long arm. All right, last one. Can you get that iron turned on so it's nice and warm for me, please? And thank you. Oh, we're out of bobbin on this last one. What? Behind you directly.
Tell them what I did all week.
Yeah, and all week this week, Scott actually made my tags for quilts. I have to do, he's going to finish the ironing parts of things, and I got to snip all the excess thread that hangs off of them. But then I got to fold them and sew them, and I don't really do the full sewing until I add them to a quilt. I just prep them. All right, so I'm going to go over to the iron now, and I don't really care. These are, sewed together a mess, but I'm just going to put them together, and as long as two colors aren't next to each other, that's all that matters. So I'm just going to snip them all apart and then sew them. So you can see in 15 minutes, I started, 5-6 minutes in or something? In less than 15 minutes, I was able to sew all this together. That's not bad at all. That's actually really, really good. So those that are speed demons like me on the sewing machine, this is the most efficient way to get things done. All right, we're going to go over to the iron as soon as this last two are snipped apart. One, there we go. Oops, I don't know why I threw that there or have that there. Yep, I'm going to show you guys how to keep these straight because you want to keep your strip units nice and straight. So what I'm going to do is lay it on my ironing board straight. Don't lay it on your ironing board where it's creating some kind of curve. You want it nice and straight. I open them first and I start from the center and then I finger push them. I use my thumbnail, honestly. I finger push them, keeping it straight. And then I take the iron, holding the seam open with my fingers like this, and back and forth. I know this is not pressing, this is actual ironing. I literally actual iron. And I have a nice straight strip. So I'm going to repeat that with every single strip here. I'm just going to open it, finger press it to one side, keeping it nice and straight, pushing it back. You can finger press from your sitting position, but I just do it from standing, no big deal. Right here. Keeping my strip nice and straight. No bowing or curving or anything. I know a lot of people do this differently, but That's just the way I do it, and I find that my strip units stay pretty good. And it's previously warm from the previous strip, so it allows it to relax that fabric so you don't have to pre-press the seam. You know? I just make sure that the seam is filleted so that way it flattens all the way across. And remember, strip units have a little bit of stretch to them, so don't stretch them. Just lay them down on here, on your ironing board. Oh my goodness, just one strip at a time, please. Thank you. I know you guys know how to press, but I have to show every step because that's just who I am. So those that are beginners, you can know how the ironing goes. Try not to press any creases or folds. The strip right here is substantially smaller than this one that it's sewn to. That's like a good almost 2 inches. It's trying to pleat right here, so I'm like using the iron to forcefully push it back. Only right there too, it's weird. That was at the fold of the fabric though, that's probably why.
Did something and asking people because everybody's name has numbers, letters, whatever. They didn't do it.
Oh, that's what the YouTube ID. So if you guys want to change that to where your name isn't the thing, hit your little circle for your name, you know, in the top corner where you see your picture. Hit that, choose the option for settings or whatever, and you can go in and change your display name. You're allowed to do that like once every 2 weeks or something like that. So like, you know how mine says Tiffany's Quilting Life, but when I'm in a chat, it also says Tiffany's Quilting Life. It's because I named my name on YouTube is Tiffany's Quilting Life, and my sub name or the name that you guys see, I changed to say Tiffany's Quilting Life. It's under your settings in YouTube, so you can change that. I don't know why YouTube is putting everybody's YouTube ID on instead of the name, but whatever. But yeah, you can change the display name, or it's called the name everybody sees. That's what it says in the settings. And you don't have to have a YouTube channel to change your name on YouTube. And if you don't care, just leave it the way it is. So it's just going to be a few more minutes of this, and then we'll sew them into sets of 4. Not even going to pre-finger press that. I'm just going to push the seam back using the iron. Side to stay down. There we go. I start getting lazy about it the more and more I press. It's actually because my nerves in my fingers don't like feeling the fabric. I know it sounds weird because I love the fabric and blah, 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 but after a while, my nerves in my fingers get upset and they don't want me to fondle fabric because then it starts getting numb and tingly. It's the weirdest sensation. It's not like a normal numbness and tingling. It's different because I'm rubbing my fingers against the fabric. Other people might get that if they have nerve issues or nerve damage in their hands. I have it all over my body though. Sometimes if I wear pants and I'm in like truly active MS problems, the pants touching my skin is like creepy crawly bugs crawling all over you, but not. It doesn't make me itch or anything. It just irritates my skin so bad and it feels like it's burning. The wonderful blessings of having MS. All right, is this one more to press, and then we're going to start sewing these into sets of 4. And I'm just going to mix up the order all over again. Like I said, it doesn't matter what order, unless you want the same order over and over. It's not really going to matter as long as 2 same pieces are not next to each other. All right, back to the sewing machine. All right. So now I'm turning the 2s into 4s. Oh, you can leave it plugged in. This isn't going to take too long, I don't think. Okay. So I'm just going to line them up and sew them the way I did when I sewed them into 2s. Like I said, it's like making a bargello in a way. To put this on this side of this one. And it doesn't matter which way your seams are going also, because when you go to press everything, because nothing's going to nest. There's going to be no lining anything up. some more like, just use this one. How many? I should only, I gotta stop at like, I gotta stop right now, I think. No, maybe one more set.
What is a Bargello?
A Bargello is a quilt that looks awesome. I don't even know how to describe. I need more purple. Where's the purples? Okay, I'm gonna put these two together and then turn them into sixes, sets of 6. I don't want to cut too many rows together. You can Google Bargello, or I could show you in a second. Let me sew this together. And while I am talking, I am not paying attention. There we go. I will quickly show you. I don't want to undo it too much, but this is a Bargello. It's where the colors create designs, but you're sewing your strip units and then cut it in a specific order and then cutting them in a specific order, and then numbers are smaller as they go down or across. But that is what a Bargello looks like. So I'm sewing like one, but not. I'm just sewing the strip units together as if I was sewing one of these. I have like 3 of them here in the closet that need quilting, actually.
You're
all right.
sewing in sets of 3.
I will have a remainder.
To set one aside for every set of 4?
Yeah, I will have a remainder. Trust me, it is okay. So I'm going to press these and then attach another one to them until I have, you know, a bunch of whatever. You don't need to see me press these because it's pretty much the same thing I've been doing. Let me just force them back and then we'll add to them and so on and so forth. No, I won't be over here long. And like I said, it doesn't matter which way my seams are going because nothing's going to be nesting up. We're not doing anything like that. Nothing fancy. We just don't want a huge strip set because I know some people don't have as big of a cutting mat. So you don't want to make them too big if your cutting mat isn't big enough. Plus, I think it's easier managed when it's 6 instead of 8. We're going to be subcutting it all down anyway. So now I'm going to add and create 6. another one. Let's put this one on here. I don't want two purples. Let's put this way. There we go.
Where did you get your seam guide?
My seam guide came from online. You can just Google seam guide and you'll get a bazillion of them.
Walmart.
Walmart. You can get them at any sewing quilting shop. I used to always use the small one that looks like this, which is multi-purpose because the shape of it, you can sew all sorts of stuff differently. There's lots of videos online. I used to always use just the small one, but once I switched to the big one, it's been a game changer. Okay.
Hold up the big one and show it to them real quick. I'll put it back down.
This is what the big one looks like, and this is what the small one looks like.
You put it back down. You know you're using it.
Yeah, but now I gotta reline it back up.
Oh. Where was this? Sorry, I guess we could do something good.
All right. Let's put, I don't want that one there. Let's do this. Purple on this side. Okay, there's a few sets of 6. Let's sew some more. So I'm going to press these and then add that one piece on to make these 6. And then one will stay as 4. No. Or I can turn it into 8, honestly. I'll probably just do that. It really doesn't matter as long as everything is sewn together. Oh, we'll leave 4, that's right, yep. Either way, as long as it's all sewn together. Last one. I gotta press the other ones. I'll do that in a second. Just get these sewn first. All right. I'm going to hook this one onto this one. And this one onto this one. Now I'm going to press, and then we can subcut. All right, let me press these, and then we're going to start subcutting everything. Let's make room, though. Let's shove that right there. Place this up here. We're going to move this out of the way, though, because that I don't need right this second. So we've made a few panels of 6. Like I said, if you want to do them in 8s, you can. If you have a big cutting board, but I'm just trying to make this easy for the beginners out there.
Karen says I'm gonna need a cheat sheet on everybody's new names. Their pseudo personality. Everybody's names are changed. Dawn isn't even Dawn anymore.
Yeah.
My life, my way.
Yep. Everybody's got to go change it if they really want to. If not, we'll figure out who is who over time. It's kind of hard, but whatever.
It's YouTube. They got to keep us on our toes, right?
Yeah, YouTube has to do that.
Keep us guessing.
Right.
That is looking awesome.
Yeah, I like this color palette. Even though these two half jelly rolls didn't even go together, I made them go together. And with the combining lilac background that I'm going to use, you would never know this wasn't all meant to be. So you can see my rows, my unit, the panels are not bowed or anything. They're nice and flat and straight. There's no bowing. I didn't have to turn, like as you're sewing a Bargello, everyone says sew down one side, up the other, down one side. I don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You just sew them into 2s, 4s, 6, 8, or 2, 4, 8, however you want to do it. And press as you go, and you should be good. With no bowing or anything, especially if you press nicely, lay your strip flat. I know some people have problems with that whole bowing thing, but I usually don't with what I do. Everything is usually pretty good. And that one fell on the floor. Go figure. All right. Now, the fun part. Chopping it all up. We just sewed it all. Now we're going to chop it all. So I'm going to go ahead now and place those up there. I'm just going to do one at a time. This one just has 4, but we're going to do one at a time. And I am going to take a ruler and a rotary color, and I'm going to cut off the selvage. Straight line on the top of the ruler, straight line on the bottom of the ruler. I'm using the lines of my jelly roll strips as a guide. And then we're going to subcut all this up into 4.5 inch segments. 4 1/2 inch. I'm going to kind of mix mine up though, because I did mix my colors up in the first place. So I'm going to mix everything up as I go. So 4.5. I gotta turn this one and cut this side because it got a little wonky. Not my fault, but it happens. It's just slightly. And that'll happen. Not my fault. Not anyone's fault. And all these numbers that I'm giving you, the 4.5 and stuff, this is just the starting stuff. When we go to sew things together, I could tell you right now that yours is going to be different than mine because your 1/4 inch seam and my 1/4 inch seam are not the same. I know it seems like it, but it's not. We also, with different kinds of machines, use different kinds of foots. Plus, our strips aren't always exactly 2.5 inches, which it looks like some of these weren't in the first place. So then you should have just a small amount left. I just throw that in my scraps pile. I'm just going to toss those aside, grab another strip unit. They should all be pressed nice and flat, so it doesn't matter if I have a little end sticking up here. I'm just going to make my starting cut by cutting the selvages off. And then 4.5 inch strips. And I'm going to keep laying them on top in the pile of which I cut. So I'm just going to go on top like that, just making stacks of them. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way because everything's just going to get so wrinkled if I don't. Slide it up like this.
Are you cutting 4 1/4 or 4.5?
4 1/2. 4.50. 4 1/2. Gotta fix this one. 4 1/2. And as you can see, I'm stacking them in front of me like that. So every single one of these, I don't know if you can see, oh, you can't see them. Never mind, it's not visual on the camera. It's too close, sorry. You can tilt the camera down so they can see what I'm doing here. Please, thank you. Straight, straight, straight. That's nice and straight. So 4 1/2 inches. And then I'm putting it in front of me. They all have a pile. Just like this. So you have to re-straighten it again. Every now and then I have to re-straighten it because it's not very straight. Some of these strips were not 2 1/2 and they just start getting wonky. So weird how that works. Everything's nice and flat. I don't know, it just happens.
You using different number of strips?
Not, no, they're all 4 1/2. All right, grab another one. You can also stagger them if you want. I'm not doing that because my board, like my cutting mat, isn't completely flat all the way to here. So I'm not going to stagger them, but you can if you have a whole entire flat surface. Since I don't, I can't, do that kind of stuff. Gosh darn it, I screwed that up. Why? Because it happens. That's straight, straight, straight. As long as I get 9 cuts per, you want 9 cuts off of your panel. Gonna get 9. I have 4 1/2 inch subcuts. All right, how many do I have left? 3 more to cut. Let's see if I can't stack them and see if it comes out okay. You never know. It might not. If I can get them flat, I can stagger them. That way the seams aren't exactly on top of each other. And that one go there. And then one more will go on top of it. There. Most out of what I can. If it doesn't stay straight, that's not my fault. All right, straight, that's all straight. Looks straight to me. Cut all that off and cut 4 1/2 inches. Again, 9 of them. 9 4 1/2 inch from each panel. And you're making 9 piles.
tell everybody that you were able to donate blood since you're talking about
Oh
blood?
yeah, the other day I told you guys I was gonna go donate blood on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. I was actually able to. They had it in their computer system. The reason why I couldn't last time is because I had a high blood pressure and high pulse. And it can't be past a certain number when you donate, and it wouldn't go down. They had to take Scott's twice because his blood pressure didn't go down on its own. I mean, it did, but it wasn't. It was high at first. All right, I'm going to just start with a few piles. Each and every single one of these 9 piles, we're going to go back to the sewing machine. In no particular order. You can mix this all up if you want. Take them and sew them together on the 4.5-inch side. What I like to do is start one, and this is why I like to go by 6 or 8. Fold one over, take another, stack it on top, like this, slide it in. Grab it, fold it, lay it. In no particular order. Grab it. I folded it over. Just mix them all up, every single one. Or you can put them in the same order they all sit in. That's up to you. I'm putting them all in different orders. I literally flip one on top. Add it. Turn it, sew it. And final piece. And I have this wonderful thing that looks like this. You just snip it apart. And then after you snip it, you have one continuous long strip. See? Look at that. And then you just hand it over to your husband to press all the seams that aren't pressed, the ones that are sticking up, because I don't feel like waiting forever. I'm just going to start sewing all these together.
Is there a certain direction? Left, right, left,
It
right?
doesn't matter which way you press them.
Those are pressed.
As long as they're pressed, nice and flat. All right, so I'm going to just connect these together, again, in no particular order. Each stack. So I'm going to switch to 3 different over this one. And I just fold it over. It's not like, here's the end. It's upside down. Flip it right side up. It's kind of sideways at first. Then you grab your piece, lay it on there. As long as it's nice and flat, tilt it to where it's straight, and sew it. Every single strip set, all 9 of them should be exactly the same size. Well, I mean, my strips weren't exactly 2.5 inch. It didn't look like. Some of them were off a little bit. But they're about the same size, and it's not going to matter as long as they look the same size. That's all that matters. So I'll snip these apart and throw them to Scott, and then we'll start getting all these put together.
You're done. Time to get her done.
There's another one. I'm just throwing it on the floor because that's where it landed.
What do you want the done one?
You can just stack them all up over there for now.
I don't want to throw it on the floor. I might get it all wrong.
No, just stack them up over there somewhere. That's fine. See, so I put them right sides together. I take this one, flip it right side up, grab another piece, hook it on there, turn it a little bit. So it looks like it's a little cockeyed, but it'll be fine. As long as it's flat for the sewing part. Flip it, sew it. Flip it, sew it. This one's going to be tight, but I want this one to land in here. I'll be able to figure it out.
You're a mark cookie. You can do it.
Let's see how short I can even do this at. This is just a few strips, but we're going to figure it out and see if we can't keep it nice and straight. Oh, we can do it. I was able to do that one.
You're a mark cookie. Open his face. Ready for next one?
There's another one.
Open his face again.
So do what you wish when you put them together, as long as you have 9 strip units.
Making piano keyboarders?
Pretty much like making piano key borders, yep. Except we're not making borders.
Making an actual quilt.
We're making an actual quilt that has no name because
Not yet.
I don't know what to call it. You guys can help with that once it's done, but it's not done, so.
Ooh, like another one?
And if you're not used to just, turning it over, you could always just sew them in sets and then put those sets together. No harm in that. So you can just do like this. Then snip them open, place them together. Obviously, when it's really long, though, you should be able to turn it. Because it's really long now, and there's plenty of space to add that next piece. But that's if you don't want to try to do it while it's shorter. Like I said, you could have set these into strip piles of 8 and then, made your units, the flat panel part, 8 pieces instead, which would have made it a little bit longer for the flip. But you know me, I'm different. I like to do whatever, whenever, and however. After this unit, I'll have 3.
This one almost ready?
Yeah, that one's done.
Oh, what?
Sorry.
You're not telling me I'm standing over here twiddling my thumb? Wiggling away.
All right, another unit down. Grab another one. Oops, it fell next to you on the floor.
Okay, I'll get it. As long as I know it's there.
Yep, it's there.
Have you made this quilt before?
Have I made this before? Yes. And this is just going off of memory from the other day. It might be a little bit different than what I made, but it's pretty much the same thing. I didn't have a whole jelly roll when I made it the other day, so this time I do, and I'll be able to do the full version that I created the other day.
When you're done with this, you can show them your one from the other day.
Yeah, and when I'm done with this, I'll show you the one from the other day so that you can see the difference. Or if there is no difference, it's probably going to be exactly the same, though. Color-wise, it won't be, though. It's totally different colors. Alright.
That one looks pretty cool, but so does this one.
Yeah, this one's going to look really cool. I like that I chose purple for this one's background color.
Another one?
Mm-hmm. Alright, one more unit to make, and then we can start cutting the background fabric and making a quilt top.
Look at that. You did all that in an hour. 15.
Well, no, technically an hour because I didn't really start sewing until like 15, 5-10 minutes in. So an hour so far is pretty darn good for me. The rest of you are like, Tiffany, just shut up. It's funny.
Do you have a large trimming table to square up quilt tops?
Do I have a large trimming table to square quilt tops? Yep, right here.
Yep, you're looking at it.
You're looking at it. This is the table I use for all cutting, even finished quilt tops. And I'm able to, when my clients have it on request, I also trim quilt tops because some people have really small spaces. And mine, the whole quilt top hangs over the desk just perfectly, so it allows me to trim it perfectly. Well, perfectly imperfect because it's never perfect.
Not ever.
Nope. I don't think I've ever had a perfectly square quilt top. Not my clients, not my own. I go to fold it and they never line up. It's funny, but they look square. They just aren't fully square. Okay, these are all together. Now we're going to cut some background fabric while these, I'm just have those set aside. I'm going to grab up my yardage and we're going to start with some 4.5-inch cuts. I am only going to cut 8 of them. You heard me right. We have 9 strips, but I'm only cutting 8 4.5-inch pieces. And you're thinking, oh, those are going to go in between. No, they are not.
Just watch and find out.
Just watch and find out. Yep, exactly.
Boss has a plan.
My plan shall come to light very shortly. So I'm cutting 4.5-inch strips. I'm going to cut 8 of them. Now, if you want your quilt to be wider and use more jelly rolls, you can. You can make your quilt bigger by just having more jelly roll strips and more piles. So instead of 9 piles across, or 9 rows is what I'm going to call those, as rows, instead of 9, you can do 15 if you want a big quilt. This works for any size though, but right now we're just making a round 55-inch by 70-inch or so, a lap quilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more makes 8. 7, 8. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside for now, right there. We are going to have some fun with our 8 strips. I'm going to start by cutting the selvage off of all of this, and then we're going to move to the wall so you can see what I'm doing. So I'll have Scott tilt the camera.
Down, I can see it.
The wall?
Oh, I thought you wanted it down on you cutting. Sorry.
No, I want it on the wall. We're going to cut all these selvages off. I do have a...
Doing it on the wall now or after you're done cutting it?
It can sit towards the wall. I'm cutting the selvages off first. That's all I'm doing.
Another quilt on the wall.
All right, here we go. We're going to take a single strip unit to start. Oh, this is longer than the other day. Like super longer than the other day. Maybe I should do 10.
Up to you.
You know what? We're going to do a different thing real quick. Give me a second, guys, because the other day I did it this way. But these came out longer because I had a full jelly roll. That's why. We're going to do this. We're going to hook all these end to end real quick. Every single strip unit. And then we're going to recut it all or re-separate it all in a second. But for some strange reason, not having a full jelly roll, making a mostly practice quilt, came out differently. So I'm going to sew all these end to end real quick, and then we're going to do some math. Sorry. And this is how I did it the other day, actually, too, because I didn't have a full jelly roll. But I thought that if I had a full jelly roll, it would work out properly, but it's not working out properly. So they're all getting hooked end to end real quick. All 9 of them. Doesn't matter which end hooks to it. I'm just sewing them end to end, and then we're gonna.
You're definitely seeing your thought process.
You're definitely seeing my thought process. Like I said, the other day I did it all end to end because I didn't have a full jelly roll, and then I just divided it by 9. But today we're gonna actually have to do it by 10 or 11 because, oops, that one's the same fabric. Let's put this one on this end because, unfortunately, a whole jelly roll is bigger. Okay, these are the ones that aren't sewn yet, right? Is this sewn? Yeah, that one's a sewn one. Just gonna put the unsewn ones on the floor. It's the only way to keep it all together. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to change things, in the middle of it, but sometimes we have to. Because, like I said, I didn't make this exact the other day. Since those strips were too long, one more. I'm going to press real quick where they come together. It shouldn't take too long. I'm literally going to stack them so I know which seam is getting pressed because there's so many seams right here. And it's hard to tell where you just did it when you make a really, really long piece. All right. Give me 2 seconds to press these. Since 9 was too long, we're going to, I think, do, I don't know, hold on. I think we're going to do like 12. This might be long enough to do 12. Either way, I don't think it's going to change the yardage because that part isn't going to change much, actually. It might change up to 2 3/4 of a yard. But that's okay. This is how my brain works, guys. Sorry. In the end, Karen will probably have made a PDF in the Facebook group, and then if you need further instructions, it'll be there. Oh, here's 2 next to each other. They're the same, but guess what? I'm not going to unstitch.
No one's going to notice. It's going to look good.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It's going to look good.
And one more.
Did I not iron it?
No, I just sewed them together into one huge long strip. All right, here's this huge long strip. This is what we're going to do. Can you get me a my clip next to the bed? I forgot to bring it in. Yes.
I got you.
You guys are going to think I'm crazy for this, but we're all going to do this. Okay, my mat is 36 inches, so we're going to go by the 1 yard increments, and then we're going to divide it by a number after I tie my hair up because the iron being on in here has made me hot.
Yes. A computer on your lap, hot iron next to you. Yes, it's hot.
All right, here we go. You're going to do this with yours too, because yours is going to be different than mine. So I'm going to take and count my yardage. So there's 1 yard. I'm going to count out loud too, so I don't forget. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm just going to say 20 plus 10. I'm just going to go with that for now. I'm going to go to my calculator, and this is what you're going to do. Go to your calculator. We're going to go to 36 inches times 20. Okay, oops. Yeah, that's what I have. My video is in the way. So that's 720 inches of this. Now we're going to divide 720 by, I'm going to do 12 and see what I get. Remember 720. Just remember 720. Divided by 12. So that's every 60 inches. That seems too long, so we're going to do by 14. That's every 51 inches. That's perfect. We're going to do 14 cuts that are 51 inches. Yep, 14 cuts that are 51 inches. All right. Yes, 51 is long as well. So I need, what do I have that's 51? Give me the measuring tape, please. Nope. And I'm just estimating that. We're probably going to cut them at 50 because I added you know, a little bit extra. So I'm going to open my measuring tape to 50 inches. Right there. I'm going to lay it right here.
Yeah, that's longer than your table.
Yep. Longer than my table. I'm going to line that there, line this here. And every 50 inches, I'm going to rip that seam. Wherever it lands, rip that seam. All you have to do is rip them apart. They rip apart really easily.
What about the extra 10? Would that be 60?
No, it'll be fine. This will be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. The extra will just go in my scrap bin. Just ripping them at 50 inches. If it lands past 50 at like 51 inches, that's fine, which is what some of these are doing. Not all of them are, but that's fine because it's going to give it that extra added look that we're trying to create here. I don't even know how many I'm at now.
You want me to count?
Oh, we have a whiles to go. All right. And no, I'm not ruining anything or ripping my fabric just by tearing it at the seam.
3, 10, 11. It's 11.
That's 11. So this is 12. 13.
This one's 14. So that last hump there's whatever.
14. Is there 14 on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. Those can just go over there in my scrappy pile. All right, here we go. First strip. I'll set that whole pile aside. I close this. So I ripped them into 14, right? 14 50-inch pieces, which is actually probably exactly the same as I did last time, honestly. All right, I'm going to take one of my 4.5-inch strips, and I'm going to cut a random number off of it. So this is where this pattern becomes your own. I'm going to cut a random number. My random number at first is going to be 9.5. Okay, 9.5. I'm going to go ahead and put that 9.5 on one of the ends that I just ripped off. I'm going to pull that thread out of there.
What's your seam set at so you can tear so easy?
Mine's at a 2.0 stitch length. 2 millimeter. Huh? All right, and then I'm going to just finger press that back. It already wants to go back because I ripped that end. Anyway, so there's that. Now I'm going to put a piece on the other side at a random number. Let's do 15 inches. I'm going to attach this to the other side. And this is going to be our base piece. Okay? So everything is now going to go off of the size of this one, which is probably going to be longer than I could reach. Oh, no, it's perfect. Perfect. So now every single unit we're going to make that size, but not with those same numbers. This is where the fun part comes in. So now I'm going to take what's left and cut a random number off of it. I don't even know what numbers I'm at because my ruler is not whatever. So this one's 11 inches to start. I'm going to take this small piece and set it aside because I'm going to use it on a different one. I'm going to connect this to one end. And this is where you're going to have to pay attention math-wise to your own stuff. I'm going to take this now that I've attached that one end because I don't do math very well. I'm going to lay it right next to this one. And then I'm going to take my measuring device, which is this, and I'm going to see how many more inches I need to equal that previous one, which is right here. I need, right there, I need 13.5 inches. So I'm going to take this and grab 13.5 inches. So this, you're making it your own. And they're not going to be exact at first. And I'm going to add it to that end. I'm going to up the yardage, and I'll change it in the description. That way when Karen goes to write this, it's there. I'm going to up the yardage to 4 yards, only because that's what I had to start with anyway. So now these 2 units should be about the same size. Looks like it's a quarter off because, well, I'm not the greatest at measuring, but that's okay. All right, we're going to start the next one with that small piece. I'm just going to grab another strip set, attach the small piece to it after I yank these threads real quick. This small piece, I don't even know how big it is, but I'm attaching it anyway. I could have measured for you, but we're making each unit different and they stagger. So I'm going to finger press, place it on the wall, equal at the top at least. Line it like this, and this is bigger than my ruler, but that's okay. We can cut a piece that's that big. Let's measure it. We need 16 inches. So I'm going to take the leftover of this and cut it to 16 inches. I don't know what that starting one was, but this is, you're making it your own. So now I'm going to attach this on here. And then I'm going to use this leftover piece towards the beginning of the first one, and so on and so forth, until everything is staggered on here together. Hopefully I haven't lost any of you now that I had to change things because I had more pieces than I did the last time I made this. So now I have 3. So I'm going to start with this piece just for, it's 14 inches in case you wanted to know. I don't know what that previous one is on that one. All right, I'm going to attach it to one end. I'm going to get rid of these threads real quick though because I ripped them. All right, so how much do I need on the bottom if this one's 14 on the top? I don't know because we haven't measured yet. I like using the flat ruler because then I could line it up on that number and see where it's landing right there. So that's 10.5. So I'm going to take this piece, cut 10.5. I want the 10.5 on the bottom and this one over here, like this. Ta-da! Now, I'm going to cut this extra piece because it's really long and we're going to cut it into another number. Let's do a small number, like 7 inches. Okay. Add this to the side. I'm going to pull these threads out. This one's going to be a long piece on the bottom. Because that top is only 7 inches. We're trying to equal, I don't even know how many inches. Let me measure it with the measuring thing, where that may be. I don't have it next to me.
You want the tape measure?
Yes, the tape measure. Thank you. 1 whole strip unit. Just in case you guys are curious, is 74.5 inches. So whatever equals 74.5 inches, that's what we're going for. All right, that's at the bottom of that. So 17.5 inches is this next cut. Plus this gives a lot of exercise. 17.5 is what I said, right? Yep. Because I'm getting my exercise doing this back and forth.
You want me to get down on the bottom and measure them for you?
No.
You don't have to?
No,
I could
it's
just
fine.
sit there.
No, it's fine. I'm good. Remember, I'm just staggering. So each top is different than the bottom. All right, next. So here's a small top. I'm going to set that one aside and start with a bigger number. And I'll use that one towards another one. But I want them to stagger, so I need them to be, I'm going to start off with 10.5 inches. So I'm going to grab one of these. I'm just going to finger press. I'm going to figure out what I need towards the bottom. Not going to be exactly the same because I am not a perfect piecer. Where'd it go? 14.5 is that one's bottom. So 14.5 right there. Pull my little threads out. Isn't this fun? Just doing whatever. You can make yours whatever length you want it. It's going to be a longer, long, skinnier quilt. I mean, it's lap size. Oh, I don't even have room for all 12. Let's scoot these over more. Well, actually, this will be bigger than my other one because this one's now 12 across. Honestly, because my other one is only 9 across, so this one will be not as skinny as the last one. Because this isn't the only step we're doing here, by the way. This is just temporary. All right, I just want to make room for the next piece and the next piece. All right, I'm gonna start off with that little guy that was just laying there. Pull that excess off. Sew this new piece on, which is, we'll measure it just so you can hear me say it, 8.5 inches. My hair is falling out of the clip because it's so thin.
Can you make it something?
No. I just need to twist it tighter, I think. All right. Wow, my hair is definitely not cooperating today. Okay, whew, that took a minute. All right, we're gonna put this up here. Yeah, it's a fussy hair day for sure. And then I'm going to measure the bottom. 16.5 inches. Let's see if this is 16.5. Oh, look at that, it's right at it. Found it. So this one just has a little tiny, I'm not gonna put that on there because there's no need to have little tiny pieces on the top. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm not. We cut 8 strips, so we should have plenty. We might have to have 1 or 2 more, but that's okay. Because now, if I add it to 4 yards of fabric needed for your background, then you should have plenty. Plenty, I say. All right. Okay, let's grab another strip. I'm gonna make this one a big number because I want it to stagger a little bit more on the top. So I'm gonna do 15 inches. So I'm gonna grab the top.
They say use a smaller clip.
Usually the clip that's in my hair, it's staying now, but usually it clips in just fine. But I did freshly wash my hair yesterday, so it's like really, really, really super silky. and the clips just fall right out. And all of my small clips have that really sharp points on them, and they aggravate my skull, like seriously. It's crazy. Okay, let's measure what's needed on the bottom. 9.5. 9.5. So I'm just going to cut 9.5 inches. Right there. Yeah, I have a bunch of those little small clips, and yeah, they annoy my head. I have very, very, very thin, fine hair, and it's falling out like super crazy. It's everywhere. It's all over this house. It's woven into all of our clothing. It's crazy how much hair I've lost. It's not coming out in chunks or anything, but it's just coming out like crazy. And so it's not as thick. All right, what is this size? This one's 19 inches. Let's do a 19 incher on one side. Seems like a lot, but it'll just have a smaller on the bottom. Sure getting my workout this morning. No need for a gym, just sew. All right, put this up here. Bottom just needs a small piece.
Get the little one.
5.5. 5.5. Not very many strips left to go. 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Right there.
You're at 9, so if there's 14 total, you got 5 more.
Yeah. And then we will be postponing till the next episode, right? Because I can't keep going this morning, but the next step isn't even here yet. We're not even close to the next step.
Next step's what? You're sewing them together, right?
Nope, we don't sew them directly together. That is not the next step. You may think it's the next step, but I said there's no matching. All right, this row we're going to do 11 inches on one side. Oh, and look, we run out of bobbin. All right, put it up, see how much I need. $13.5. Some of these might be over measured, by the way, because, you know, I'm not doing exact perfectness. Oh, I probably should just add on to that side, honestly, because that way I have room for all this. So whatever this one is, I'm just going to start off with it. Looks like it's 13.5. And then we're gonna grab another one. Oh, first we gotta see how tall it needs to be. Add it to this side. So it really doesn't matter where, as long as it's there. Let's measure. 11.5. All right. Let's put the 11.5 on here. Yeah, this is going to be perfect because this one, now that I'm using a whole entire jelly roll's worth, this it's going to be more equal in size. I'm liking it better already. All right, let's put a small one, like 6.5 inches. Why not? And if I don't get this done, either way, the next breakfast at Tiffany's will be the first week of November, which is when my birthday is.
Yep.
Sometime.
It'll be around somebody's birthday.
Yep, it'll be around my birthday sometime. Place that there.
Oh, nope, your birthday's on Tuesday. Yeah, first Thursday's the 6th.
The first Thursday is the 6th, so it'll be 2 days after my birthday. All right, we're going 18 inches.
First week of daylight savings, so they'll all be on different times.
Yep.
And we'll be the same.
All right, we're going to 18 inches on this one. Where are we at? 18 is right there. How many do I have left? 2? Yeah, this one's going to be the same, but a little bit different than the previous. Like I said, it'll still be good though. Oh, I lost my thread. Didn't even know it. Come on. Right. It's up here. Grab this. So the small one, that's 7.5. I'm gonna make sure that this lands on the bottom though, and put the bigger number on top. That way it's very staggered. Or it can go on that end. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just figure out how much more we need to start. What am I at? 16.5. All right, so we'll have to cut one more 4.5-inch strip. So that'll give, what did I say, 8 in the beginning. So it's just changing it by 1, which is actually pretty good. So look at that. I didn't have to go. What was I at?
I think you said 16.5, but now I forgot. Oh,
Yeah, I forgot. 16.5 is what I said then. 16, 14, 15, 16, 1/2. Right here. Oh, what am I trying to put it on that for? Whoo-wee, brain fart. You know you've been working too long when you start doing that. Putting the wrong pieces in the wrong places. All right. So this one That's really staggered. I like that. And then, oh, that's not even as long. Whatever. One more. And then we'll have to cut one more strip to equal that number out. Let's do 11 inches. And then find out how much more. Oh, maybe it'll fit this. And that means we only needed 8. 13 and a half. Holy guacamole. So I didn't need to change that number at all. The 8 strips worked.
See, look at that. Good mathing on you.
Yeah, so even though that I split it instead of 9 strip sets like this with the jelly roll pieces instead of 9 strips, it still works with 14. I'm at 14 strips, right? There's 14 strip sets. Yeah. So I still only needed 8 strips. So if you are equaling, oops, yeah, that worked. Let me just fold it in half and get you a number because my brain cannot think properly. 72, 73, 74. 74 inches is your goal number. How about that? So you only need 8 strips that are 4.5 inches for the tops and bottoms for 14 rows, as long as you're at 74 inches in your length. And then you should have a remainder of just this much from those strips. But we have 5 minutes left. I am not going to start the next step. You're going to have to wait till the first week in November, but this is a general idea of what it's going to look like, and I'm not going to show you the other one because then you'll get the next step already, and then you'll be like, oh, I already know that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it without you, Tiffany, and I'm not going to work on this without you guys. So this is just the way it's going to stay until, well, I'm going to take it off the wall because I can't just,
Well, yeah.
I can't leave it there for Sunday or anything, but
Sunday's coming up.
So far, just by looking in the camera screen, this looks really cool. Obviously, you guys can't see the whole top staggering thing and the bottom thing. But these jelly rolls did not match, but look at, they're going together nicely. And you can move them and flip them too, because like this piece is this next to this piece, so I could flip this one to being here instead. You know what I mean?
Right down where your hand was to begin with, you have the same 3 purples right around.
Yeah, like seriously, you could just move them around and then they'll be even more blended, but I'm not going to worry about it with mine.
Well,
But this is...
camera looks like the same 3, but now it's one of those 2.
Yeah. So far, this is what we did. So we just made strip panels, took all your jelly roll strips, made panels, subcut them, made a bunch of piles of them, and then sew them together continuously. How about that? Just continuously sew them all the way. And then to make 14 of these, make sure you measure yours because your 1/4 inch is going to be the same. Your jelly roll strips aren't going to be the same. So measure how many yards, right? So you're going to do, say you have whatever, 20, like I did, 20 yards. And then I divided that by 14 strips. The answer that you get from the 20 yards, which was 270 inches, then you're going to divide that. You know what I mean? Right? Was that 270? Whatever it was. You're going to divide that number by however many strip rows you want, and that's the number you're going to get. But hopefully Karen will have that figured out by the time she writes the pattern when I get to the next step. I like to confuse her with all of my pattern making. So the next step in the beginning of November. And then you guys will be like, oh, look at this. This is so awesome. It'll be awesome. It'll be similar to my previous one, but just a little bit different. All right. Any questions before we go? Because I can actually even, I'm going to make this even easier real quick before I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's 25. Let's see if this one has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So if you wanted to make this scrappy, the center section between the two ends is 25 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangles. So there's 25. So I have 14 piles of 25 of these in a row. Does that sound even easier to understand? I just did whatever and ripped them apart, but either way, now you can just do 25. That way you can do scraps and do scrappy pieces. And then your top and bottom is whatever you want it to be as long as it equaled 74 inches. Okay, so you only needed to cut whatever. But you could make it taller than 74. That's on you, or you can add borders when we're done. Yeah, 25 in it. Let me count another oddball one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yep, there's 25 in each row. Oh, yep, just making sure. All right, guys, I will see you for Sunday, so Sunday, but that'll be a totally different project. And then I'll see you again for this project on the first week of November, which is the 6th, Scott said, and we'll continue on with this. See you guys all in my next video. Bye.